All right, thank you for watching Competing in Cornfields. I'm here with Anthony Lott. Real quick, a few words from our sponsors: Jingmo Athletic Association, Jingmo Tong. They're your place in Lincoln for lion dance, kung fu, and all kinds of martial and performing arts. They're also a nonprofit ran by Ray Peterson, so definitely go check out their Facebook page for more information. We are also brought to you by 360 Phase Barbershop. They are a traditional barbershop specializing in men's haircuts and straight razor shaves. They are located close to 48th and R in Lincoln, and first come, first serve, so go see them today. Last but not least, we are brought to you by Willicke Financial Group, LLC. As with most things in life, the key to achieving your long-term financial objectives is planning. They are a leader in insurance and financial services, so check out their website for a quote today. All right, so here with Anthony Lott.
How you doing,
Excellent. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, anytime, man. Well, you want to start with a little recap of last weekend's fights at the Ramada in Omaha?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. Well, we kicked it off with Roscoe Bryant versus Jake Barnett. That was a pretty good one.
It was. I've actually trained with Jacob. He was winning that fight till he made one bad transition on the ground, got his back taken, and choked. I mean, I thought he was winning that whole fight till then.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was watching it at home on the pay-per-view and jotting down some notes. I just put Barnett landing on the feet. Barnett, okay, so initial Roscoe takedown, Barnett sweep, Barnett landing on the feet, and then Barnett just dominating on top.
Yeah.
Second round, Roscoe just coming out with that takedown, rear naked choke, win.
Yeah, I don't know if Jake blew his wad during that first round. It didn't look super fast-paced, but he did stuff a lot of takedowns, and he was landing on the feet. I don't know if it just needs better conditioning, but I know he's been at Premier for a year-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you don't go there and not get a gas tank.
Right.
So it might have just been a bad transition or got confused on what to do. Just one little mistake can cost you a fight, but I had him winning up until the choke happened.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like while I think about it, I was gonna ask you later, but what's Premier like, and how would you describe training at Premier?
So they have it based on levels. So if you come in with no experience, you go to foundations, and I think you spend, for most people, 6 to 12 months there. So
Mm-hmm.
6 months to a year. After that, you go to cap, and that's where you tap out, or max out. But that's where they like to have people start fighting. You can fight in foundations, but they just don't want you to throw the gym logo on there.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. Like you gotta fight independent when you're in foundations. But when you get up into cap and you get Ryan Jensen, Jose Campos, you get their approval. The jiu-jitsu coach that's new. I haven't worked with him. I haven't been up to Premier in probably close to a year. But I'm sure if he signs off on it, you're probably good to go, and you can rock a Premier shirt and
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff coming out and get the corner and all that. But it's really laid back. So I mean, you got your people, you know who's fighting and who's not, and all the coaches there are amazing. Jensen, UFC vet. You got Jose Campos, who's got people to the Olympic trials. You had a girl win a tournament yesterday. I mean,
In Atlanta, right? Or
Atlanta,
I think I saw
yep.
that. Yeah, that's crazy. Just traveling everywhere for boxing.
yeah, Jose's all over the place. It's hard to it's hard to keep him in Omaha with all his boxers. I mean, and then on top of coaching MMA too, Jose's all over the place.
Yeah, no, definitely a good group of guys out of there. Next we had Maya and Noah Kelly, I believe. And Maya takedown, rear naked choke attempt, ground and pound win, round one. Not too much to say about that.
Yeah, I think that was pretty clear cut.
Yeah. We had Andrew Herrera versus Heath Cloyd Jr. That was Herrera just kind of the little manhandling of himself, of of his own for a rear round one finish. And the 4 out of the first 7 fights all had rear naked choke finishes.
Yeah,
Pretty crazy.
They all went quick. It was I thought we were going to get out of the building by like 10. I mean, it started at 8, and usually, I mean, most of the Dynasty shows go till 11:30, 12-ish.
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't have an intermission on the sheet, so I thought we were just going to run through them. And then Doc had to stitch some people up, and it is what it is. I mean, they were all finishes. I think there was only one decision on that whole card.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's about right. The next one is actually a fight worth noting. That Damaris Waldner versus Morgan Walgren. Do you remember that one?
Is that the lady fight?
The ladies, yeah.
That girl from, I don't remember which one's from where, but the one from South Dakota.
Damaris.
Yeah, she came out like a monster. I mean,
just climbed on her like a spider monkey.
Yeah, it wasn't a very quick fight.
No.
Or it wasn't a very long fight.
No.
Very quick.
It looked like she didn't even land any strike, or she might have, but looked like she just like kind of gave her like the 2-step whoop, and then just from there climbed onto her back.
Spider monkey, man. She
fell over.
Yeah, I mean, it was sunk in right away too. She tried to fight it for as long as she could, but once you get a rear naked choke in that tight, and then you fall to your back, like you're probably not getting out of it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Definitely a lady to keep an eye on. She looked very composed
100%.
in there.
I think she's out of Sioux Falls.
Yep, South Dakota somewhere.
Yeah. Next we have Denzel Pearson versus John Kuhneman. You have thoughts?
I've trained with John. John's my boy. He's out of Premier, so I mean, I was a little biased going in there, but that was another quick fight. Was that a rear naked choke too?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. First round.
Yeah, I think John pretty much controlled that whole fight.
Yeah.
Got the takedown. I think they had one little quick exchange on the feet. And I think John got him up against the fence, and they ended up going to the ground, and John sunk in the rear naked choke.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Try not to be biased with my Premier boys, but it's hard not to.
No, I mean, same here. John's came down and trained with us before, and just through social media, I believe we're friends. And one thing that did make me, I was like, what? Because his opponent, the Denzel Pearson, the announcer announced him as a sumo/Rochambeau fighter. And I'm like, hold on a second. I wonder how serious he's taking this.
I wouldn't want to be announced at that, but
Do you know what that is?
I know Rochambeau. Sumo. Is that rock paper scissors?
I think. All right. So the way I remember it is that Rochambeau is like made in Russia. 2 guys. One guy kicks the other guy in the nuts, and then the other guy kicks the other guy in the nuts, and then the first one to quit loses.
Why would you do that? What's the point of what?
Dude, it's the same thing with like those slap fights. Have you seen people do those?
I've seen those, and I've seen people get knocked out during them too.
Well,
it's crazy.
So like Americans will do like the slap fight, but Russians will go straight for the nut shots.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, I don't want to be known as a Rochambeau fighter.
No, not at all.
Yeah, man, I thought that was hilarious.
And he looked pretty small to be a sumo guy, so.
Yeah. I
mean, he was a big boy. What was this? 205?
Yeah, 205. Yeah. And I think John Kuhneman was actually much lighter than that, because he's on his way down. I wanted to say he was like in the 190s or something like that. And on the Dynasty little announcement thing, it said that this fight was supposed to be at 192. And so I'm thinking that guy probably also didn't make weight.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think Kuhneman, with his height, he needs to let go a little bit of that muscle and be an 85er.
Oh, yeah.
In my opinion.
Well, he's on his way.
Yeah. And even with his height, I mean, let a lot of that muscle go and be a 70er and still be pretty big for 170. Because he's not like super short, but I don't think he's tall enough or long enough to be an 85er. Definitely not a 205er. He needs to come down, in my opinion. But there's a lot of other things into that. I don't know how he feels at 205. Maybe he feels amazing. Maybe that's maybe that's his athletic prime. So, well, if that's the case, then stay there, dude. Stay where you feel good. But
Yeah.
going off body types, I think you should be going down a weight class or two.
I believe the initial thought anyway is to at least get down to 185.
Yeah,
like with
for sure.
the 192 and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see what's up. Next we had Eric Belvine versus Stephen Bass. If you remember this one.
Not the most exciting fight.
No.
Kind of just. I was expecting a stand-up, bang 'em out war, and then it just kind of turned into whoever could get the takedown and hold on.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't a lot of real damage done in that whole fight at all, if I recall right.
Yeah.
Kind of lackluster. I mean, I don't want to talk smack on people that go in there and don't have their best performance, but like, cause I've had one. People boring ass fights. I got held against the fence, stuff like that. I mean, it happens, but that's just one of these fights. It was a lackluster fight, and Bass came off with the win.
Yeah. Well, definitely props to Eric Belvine too. I wasn't aware of this, but at least on the commentary, I heard that he is at least 10 pounds less than, for, what is that, at 125? That he, easily makes it.
Oh, really?
It's not even, his real weight class. He would be, an atom weight. I want to say they fought, really light. Oh.
I'm pretty sure Stephen Bass is a 70 last time I seen him fight.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I could be totally wrong.
Yeah. I know Jake Barnett walks around at 25. Those are Stephen Bass and Eric were pretty big dudes.
Yeah. All right, I'm going with you on that one. Okay, so Glendale Whitney versus Blake Johnson. Glendale Whitney's the guy who kind of looks like Francis Ngannou in there. And
yeah, it really does, too.
But that's the guy that John Kuhneman knocked out in his very first fight.
Yep.
Which is crazy, and I would never forget that, and I would tell everyone. Hey, man.
Because John's a big dude, too.
Oh, yeah.
He makes John look small.
Well, man, I don't know. He looks very well put together.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he went ahead and got the quick finish.
And I saw Blake protesting the stoppage. I believe I was in the restroom for that fight, but I know I came back for the announcement, and I saw he was all upset about it. I can't speak on that fight. Didn't see that one, but I saw the outcome. But I know, was it a good stoppage?
Man, I want to say yes, but I couldn't tell you. Maybe that was I want to say yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, from the looks of both of them, and then the looks, and yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm not protesting it on Blake's behalf. All right, then we had Keith Fodum versus that guy
7 seconds.
Mueller. Yeah. Okay.
Didn't show up to weigh-ins.
The Mueller guy didn't?
Nope. Didn't show up or wasn't there by the fighter parade. I honestly expected that fight to get scrapped. Because I know he didn't weigh in, or officially weigh in on this day. And then he wasn't there by the time the fighter parade was either, so. Good thing he showed up for Keith.
Yeah. Well, no kidding. But I think this guy will literally, he's from Casper, Wyoming. Mm-hmm. He'll literally drive over here for anything. He's fought both my coaches.
Really?
Yeah, I think on decently short notice, at places in Nebraska. Nick Honstein beat him. Nick Norris got injured during that fight, unfortunately, so took an L.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, I think he's like, ooh, pro fight? Ooh, my weight? I'll drive wherever you have anything. He had kids in his corner.
Get your paycheck.
Yeah, I guess.
If that's one way you want to earn it. He got put out.
Yeah.
He threw a lazy leg kick, and he caught it. Boom, right on the money. And then he ate a couple more for his troubles.
Yeah. Then we had Jesse Free versus Rory Garza. A little good back and forth. And then I have a knee dropped free for the ground and pound finish by Roy Garza.
So I've been following Roy through his whole amateur career. I think I commentated his first fight, and I've been on the Roy Garza hype train the whole time. But just
I want to jump on too.
yeah, he's the real deal, man.
Yeah.
Out west, I think he trains in Scottsbluff. It's definitely close enough to be out to go to Colorado and stuff. I mean, go out there, especially now that you're a pro. It's time to start training with the big boys and stuff like that. Not to talk smack on Scottsbluff and all that, but I mean, there's not a whole lot of them out there. And I mean, if you have the chance to go to Scottsbluff or Factory X,
right?
Which one are you gonna pick? You know, I mean, I'm not telling him to do his whole camp out there, but go out there for a week, bring that back to Scottsbluff, and just grow on it. And then maybe one of your coaches out there can add a spin on there, something they like onto something you learned, and just keep growing as a fighter. I mean, the kid's the real deal, though. I mean,
yeah.
I've been watching him for a while, and I'm glad he's pro. That's for sure. I don't think it should have took him 5 fights, which I don't say that about a lot of people because you need that experience as an amateur. But he was ready to go a little bit ago.
Well, yeah, like our coach Nick Constein is like he always talks up. Where is it? Out in Nebraska. Where's Roy?
Scottsbluff.
Scottsbluff. Yeah. He's like, hey, even Scottsbluff has 2 MMA gyms. I'm like, hold on, Scottsbluff has 2 MMA gyms?
Yeah.
Like, Lincoln has 1? Like, well, how does this work? Yeah, but I guess they do get the guys out there. I don't know what it looks like or anything like that, but...
I couldn't tell you, but I know they have some big names coming out there.
Yeah.
I think Brock Smith, he's done LFA. Joey Muniz, he went on and destroyed this dude in bare knuckle boxing, and that was pretty short notice. I don't remember how short notice, but it was pretty short notice for him to come up there and take a bare knuckle. Oh man, that bare knuckle's something else.
No, thank you. All right, real quick for our main event then. We had Tate Wright versus Micah Petrowski. Did this one go kind of how you thought it would?
I thought Tate would hang in there a little more. I mean, Micah's actually like one of my best friends. Like I started my MMA career with him and spent a lot of years training and hanging out outside the gym with him and stuff. But I knew Tate was a dog too. Yeah, I've seen him in wars with P-Town, but I thought I don't know, Tate gassed out in the first or what, but it might just be Micah too. I don't want to downplay Micah's performance because I think he pretty much dominated that whole fight. But I thought Tate was gonna hang in there a little more.
Man, one thing is like whenever I was kind of researching that fight just to like get a better feel on it, I looked at pictures of Micah whenever he was like at one of his victory fights. I'm like, oh my gosh, he looks super stacked and just like a solid guy at 155, which he is.
Yeah.
And I know. I don't know. And one thing is that I think that what maybe might have taken some of the wind out of Tate when he has good cardio. Like I trained with him like leading up to this fight a good bit, and I think that so Micah had like the plume and then was like landing those like Muay Thai knees, and then in the meantime at like whenever he has like the plume on him, Tate's like going like with like 6 or 8 rabbit punches. So that's making him tired, and it's not affecting Micah at all. Like you can like hit the side of my head all you want, and it's probably not a huge deal.
Yeah.
And that's my main takeaway.
Also, Micah's clinch work looked really good in that.
Oh yes.
That fight. I mean, I remember he had one big elbow, and it was right in Tate's corner. It was a big right elbow. Came in. I mean, we heard that one up on the stage. I mean, it was a solid thud. And then I thought 2 more seconds in the first round, I thought Micah would have finished it there. That rear naked choke was in tight, and then I think Tate got saved by the bell a little bit. And then second round starts, and Micah just comes out and makes Tate shoot and gets a guillotine.
Yeah, man, that's tough.
That being said, not to downplay Micah because Micah also
Right.
was really good at that. I don't want to say he won because Tate had a bad performance or something like that, but it was a pretty dominating fight for Micah the whole time. I don't recall Tate ever really being in control of the fight at all, off my memory. But
maybe some shots here or there, but not
Yeah.
like a I'm gonna start walking you down kind of stuff. But
yeah,
shouts out to both guys for sure.
for sure.
I was wondering, can you give us a little rundown of your MMA experience?
8-2 as an amateur, former Dynasty champ, former Victory champ.
At 145, 55?
Dude, come on, man.
I don't know. I'm just
I
wondering.
put some LBs on, but it was
Me
it was at 45. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
tall and lengthy for 45, so I think that helped me through like most of my fights. Cause I'm really tall for 45. I'm about 6 foot, long limbs, and people would take me down. I have a decent guard, and that's where most of my victories came from, was off my back.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, started training in Fremont with Brian Monahan and Jake Kiefer, and then eventually got to the point where I just needed to branch out, and brought Monahan and Micah with me. We all went to Premier, and then got one of the best boxing coaches around in Jose Campos. I got UFC vet Ryan Jensen there. I got Dakota Cochran was there at the time. Alonzo Martinez, who has like a million fights, been around, fought everyone. Derek Minner. Jason Brills was there at the start. Another UFC vet. Houston Alexander.
Houston Alexander was in the house?
Yeah, when he wanted to.
Yeah.
I think this was a little bit after he was done competing when I first got up there, but he would pop in. And then I think Brills was pretty much on his way out. He would show up for like wrestling practices and stuff like that. Got Joe Ellenberger up there.
Yeah, no. That's a nice crew.
Yeah, for sure. Good.
Yep. That is crazy that Houston Alexander was there. That'd be insane.
Yeah. Dude, I got some battle wounds from him before. You know?
Really?
Not like battle wounds, but he's chin checked me once or twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's powerful for sure.
I have battle wounds from Dakota Cochran.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those. I've limped out of Premiere before. You know?
The limping is all it. Like, I remember getting dropped with leg kicks, and then everybody laughing at me. I'm like, fine, I don't care if you laugh.
Yeah.
Have other people go up against them. They get dropped by leg kicks. So I'm like, I'll save it, dude. I already know.
Yeah. Yeah, Dakota's a dick.
Yeah.
I mean that in the nicest way possible.
Right.
Dakota. I love you as a person, but
Yeah.
Dakota's, he's had me limping out of Premiere before.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear you there. And then, can you tell us a little bit about your affiliation with Twin J Transportation?
I was Scotty's first fighter. I went to school, so it's called Twin J because he has a pair of twins, Cody and Amanda, and they were in the same grade as me. And I was pretty good friends with Cody we never really hung out outside of school, or not too often, but every now and then. But when I started fighting, one of my other buddies, Scott, I was always done fights at his house, way before I was affiliated with him, but one of my friends went up to his house, and I actually lived right up the street from him. It's like 5 blocks down, or 5 houses down, and got invited over, and Scott found out that I was fighting MMA, and here we are now, pretty much. I mean, got the whole Twin J team now. A lot of good guys from all over the place on there, out of state, boxers. Scott does a lot for Nebraska MMA, or he does a lot for a lot of people that flies under the radar. It's crazy. He's one of the best guys I've ever met. Glad he's in my corner for sure. I'm glad he's helping all these people, because I mean, there's a lot of these amazing fucking athletes across Nebraska that wouldn't have shit if it wasn't for Scott.
Yeah, I mean, training at a MMA gym is gonna, no matter what, probably at least cost you $100 a month.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, at least.
I don't have my hands in all of what Scott does with people, but I know I've been there where he's had me run boxing gloves up to some kid who doesn't have shit. You know, like, I mean, he'd be using busted up gloves he's had for 3 years. I mean, fucking his hands up, hurting his training partners because there's no padding left on the knuckles and shit like that. And Scott's just, what do you need? Scott hooks him up, and then I don't know. He's just a really good fucking dude. I don't know what he does for everybody, but I know he does more than most.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, great guy. And I mean, even to I wasn't sponsored by him or anything like that, but I mean, just to talk to all the time and take pictures and laugh with, like, or maybe spend time at his place or whatever. Yeah. Yeah,
he does all the pay-per-views over there. I don't know how many. I've seen you over there. Minner's over there all the time. I've seen Dakota. I mean, that little outside patio is usually packed whenever we're all fight night.
Yeah. No, it's really perfect.
That makes delicious food.
Yeah.
Hang out, have a good time with a bunch of people that have the same interest as you. I mean, it's a good time over there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, shout out to Scott Johnson and
Twin J.
That's right, Charlene, everybody. So you're on a little bit of hiatus from competing in MMA. I was looking to see if you have a particular reason for that.
Well, a little bit of a story that goes into this. But, so, I work a full-time job. I have a day job. Business got slow, so I was going to take 4 months of voluntary layoff where I would just collect unemployment and then come back whenever they needed me or on the date. So I was like, I'll just take 2 fights, and between then I'll just go train my ass off at Premier with the team guys. And I ended up getting hurt, like right at the start of this. Right at the start of my work leave.
You're supposed to work for 2 months. You get hurt right away?
Yeah. Oh. So I'm off of my day job for 4 months. So I was just like, okay, fuck it. I'm just gonna fight. I'm just amateur, so I'm not getting paid, but I get ticket sales. So I'm just gonna try to get a pro fight or get as close to going pro as I can. So I get my neck all jacked up like right out of the gate. Like I think 3 weeks into my time off. So this whole plan just goes right down the shitter from the get-go. and then and I also got 2 kids too, so they're out of school. So I'm hurt now, so I don't need to drop them off at the daycare, which is my grandma. She's always ran an in-home daycare for forever. Well, and then both of my grandparents start fighting cancer at the same time. So my grandpa got lung cancer, started doing his battle with it, and then right in the middle of his treatment and stuff, my grandma got diagnosed with kidney cancer. And then my other grandma, a couple years before that, got diagnosed with breast cancer. So it was just all this shit happening all at once. I can't train, I can't do nothing, so I start putting beer down and LBs getting put on. So that's basically where it's at. But I'm getting to the point where it's, luckily both my parents or grandparents beat the cancer and all that. So
that's great news.
Yes. So yeah, just kind of just a whole shitstorm happened all at once, and it was kind of just fucked me and put me in this dark place. And last thing I wanted to do was go to Premier and get my ass whooped all the time, or go in the middle of summer in the hot fucking gym and get punched in the face while they got all this other shit in the back of my head. And then taking that voluntary layoff was a little bit of a pay cut, so there's financial worry there. But and then I also got 2 little girls growing up, and I don't want to. Fighting takes a lot of time. People don't understand that. There's a lot of time spent on the mats.
Besides the training as well, too. Like selling tickets, like, man.
You do T-shirts.
If we don't have cage ticks, like, I'm not gonna sell that many.
Yeah.
Like, when I'm gonna drive to Omaha every single day, like for another person who wants something, or
Right. That was another thing, man. I got a 2 hour commitment just to go to Premiere.
yeah.
I got an hour drive there, an hour drive back, and then at least a 2 hour training session.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's not worth driving up there for an hour. So that's 4 hours right there. And I think the first class starts at 5, so I have to leave my house at 4 to hit boxing. And then boxing's 5 to 6, MMA's from 6 to 7, jiu-jitsu's from 7 to 8. And the next thing I know, after hanging out at the gym talking to everybody after class, it's like 10 o'clock by the time I get home. You know,
That's no good.
yeah, you know, I don't get to put my little girls to sleep and kiss them goodnight and stuff like that. And that's the shit you miss out on. Then can't really replace that, you know? Or
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how to put it into words, but like you can't make up
Yeah.
for that.
It's
much.
not like it's not like your coworkers want to go out to eat, and so you're gonna skip practice. It's like, hold on, I have my family that I worked hard for, that I continue to work hard for.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, probably can't leave them for 4 hours, 5 hours a night.
Also, shout out to my wife, Paige.
Shout out.
Kept shit on lockdown the whole time I was gone and put up with a lot of shit. And me coming home after having a bad day at practice or something, all pissy and stuff like that. You know, I mean, she's watching the girls while I'm not there. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
she kept. Shout out to her. Love you.
Yeah. No, that is pretty awesome. And hey, we might as well hop over to the breakdown of the Syracuse card this weekend.
Okay.
It's at the Syracuse 4-H building, I believe, again. Last year, it was so fun. Like, informal, cowboys everywhere, dirt floors.
Damn.
Like, it's like my kind of place to be. Anyway, just to kick off the amateur bouts, we have Ray Evans versus Justin Penn Sr. / Justin Middleton, whichever you prefer. Yeah, you have anything to comment on those?
I didn't get to watch Ray Evans' last fight. The last Ray Evans fight I got to watch was him versus Brett. And that was after a long layoff with Evans.
Like out of jail or something. He's
I
like, I
think
thought
so.
you like coming like 1 week out of jail. Or
Yeah.
I saw something on Facebook and I kind of chuckled.
Yeah, well, it showed because Brett came out and just, what was that, a 40-second fight? Brett came out, took him down, and
Something like that.
choked him out right away. And I didn't get to see his last fight, so
That was against Rory Wilkinson, who beat Javon in a decision.
Ooh, really?
So, I mean, Rory's, he's talented. Like,
Yeah.
I would need to watch the fight again. I'm not going to say it was like a robbery or anything like that. But I do remember that Rory was certainly upset, and then a lot of the crowd was too. But it was a decision against a hard-nosed wrestler like Rory.
Okay.
So, I mean, he's at least back.
Yeah. Well, I haven't
Always
seen
excited.
it in person yet, so he has a weird style.
Yeah.
It's weird how he can do that karate style and then still shoot really good off of it. Because he has that sideways karate stance a lot of the time. Hands down, tries to get you to come in. He's pretty slick counter puncher. And then he can transition to his wrestling really well, even from that sideways stance. So I'm excited to see it, especially against Middleton. I know him as Middleton, but
Right.
because he's been on a little tear. I think he lost his last fight, but he turned like everything around and like really started looking good his last couple showings.
I think every fight that I've seen Justin Middleton in person, he's won. He's got it going on. And like you're talking about Ray Evans' crazy style, it's only going to get crazier because he started training capoeira. You know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's only going to get crazier.
Put your hand on the mat and start spinning kicks.
Yeah.
I mean, if he does, good for him. I mean, hopefully it mixes well. I wouldn't pick up that style because I'm not a big fan of spin kicks. I don't like giving up my back.
No.
Because your whole defense to a spin kick is to either get the hell out of the way or get the hell in. And if they catch you and they take your back, but I don't know, maybe he's the best capoeira kicker out there. And might fucking work for him. I don't know.
You never know.
That being said,
Yeah.
never fought a capoeira kicker either. So
Yeah, I know, but I'm not about giving up my back. Even like in like my living room, like my parents' dog will try and take my back. You know, you never know.
oh yeah, every time my wife comes in for a hug and she wants 50-50, I always go
Nope.
underhooks.
Yeah.
I always get underhooks.
None of that. No, thank you. But definitely, good luck to Ray Evans and also Justin Middleton / Penn Senior.
Weren't they training partners at one point?
I want to.
I thought they were both at a Team Soldier at one point.
It's
Anyway.
possible. I know that Justin Penn is also like from Omaha, I
Okay.
believe. I think he's an Omaha guy. Like,
Okay.
but anyway, he has been on a tear. Let me look up his last couple fights real quick because I think he is on like a 3-fight winning streak.
I think he lost his last one.
I think he had to pull out of it for
Oh,
sure
maybe
because
that's what it is.
of injury.
He'd be a lighter dude.
Yeah, 7-7. Oh yeah, so he beat Ben Bowling, then he beat Mason Teeters. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I was commentating that one.
And
The
Mason
Thanksgiving
Teeters.
Throwdown.
Mason Teeters is no fucking joke. That
Oh
guy-
my God, Mason Teeters is a stud.
Yeah. And Ben's a fucking dog too. I've only
Yeah.
seen one of his fights, but
Yeah.
it was a war. So if you gotta, and it says it round 2 won by punches.
Yeah,
So, and Ben's a dog, so
yeah, it's
mean-
hard to get Ben out of there.
yeah.
Yeah, well, all right. So there we go. Ben Bowling versus Tyler Gruber. You know, Ben Bowling is good to go the distance.
Yeah.
We saw him went the distance in his first fight with Tanner Wanch out of Lincoln Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Or I guess that was Tanner's first fight, probably not Ben's. But
Let's find out.
yeah, we're about to find out. Sorry. 1 and 2. Yeah,
So Ben's second fight.
Ben.
and
Yeah.
Tanner's first fight.
Yep.
Still pretty new. You get a lot of that going on. You're not going 0-0 very often anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Normally somebody's got something down their sleeve.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ben Bowling's always good for a couple, and he fought Justin Middleton last time, and Ben is so tough that like his eyes like look pretty crazy after that one. Like getting punched in the face a lot, but he like owned it and was not happy about it, but you know what I mean. He like showing everybody like, yeah, I was in an MMA fight, so what?
Yeah, it's cool to walk out of there with. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone goes, "What happened to you?" Oh yeah, look at the other guy. You know.
Yeah, everything happened to me. We'll move on to Josh Sarapia versus Brett Minner. Here we go, a rematch of 3 years ago. What do you think about this one?
Can we pull up Scrapia?
Yes, we definitely can. So 3 years ago, whenever they did fight for the first time, Brett Minner did win. So we will see what happens this weekend.
I know who he is, but I want to look up his record because I want to say he's been losing lately, but it's just like he's fighting dudes. I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean,
Scrapia's not fighting guys that are jokes.
no, he's for sure not. And you know you're always in for a good scrap whenever it comes to,
Scrapia, oh yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that guy's a dog.
It literally has it in his name.
Yeah. And I honestly, ever since Brett came up to 45, took that little bit of time off. I think he lost his last fight against Tanner.
Yeah. But he looks so good
But other than that,
at the beginning of that fight.
yeah, he looked good all the way up till the choke happened. And I think Brett's on another level. I know he had a kid and all that. That might be his motivation now, or whatever. Brett's really turned around. I mean, he's on a tear. Is this scrap you?
Yep.
Okay, so he's 2-1 in his last 3. So, I mean, look at those names
That's
though.
pretty good.
Brandon Trout's been around forever.
Yeah.
Mason Teeters. I mean, that dude's been around forever.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a.
It was a crazy spinning back fist.
It was a pretty bad knockout, but he's had time to recover. I mean, I hope he did. I hope Scrappy didn't go into the gym and start sparring the week after. Stuff like that. But
yeah.
I mean, it should be a fight. They're both on their way up for sure. Minner's turned things around a lot, and Scrappy, how many losses? Started off at 0-3.
Oh man.
I mean, he's really turned things around.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
well, I lost to Josh Trabian. Good on him for winning that one.
Yeah. Not only that, but he corner stoppage on Josh.
Yeah.
That speaking on Josh, Josh was too fucking tough to quit.
Yeah.
Corner had to stop it. Scrappy had put on a show against Josh. And then he beats Austin Gowan.
Yeah.
I mean, Scrappy is fighting killers out there. I mean,
yeah.
He's not fighting chumps. I mean, I think he has a losing record, but look at the names on it though.
4-5, but yeah, still. And that's another thing I thought about with Ray Evans too. I saw he was 5-3-1 or something like that. I'm like, dang. I thought he had way more fights than that. And also, I thought there might have been some more mixed results in that. But that's just me. I don't know everything.
Not the trustiest website out there. I'll tell you that.
Nah, but man, it's pretty much what we have.
Yeah.
There's Tapology, there's ShareDog. If you're lucky enough to have a profile on ShareDog.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we basically have to go off of Tapology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love those little polls they put at the bottom. Who do you think's gonna win?
Oh yeah.
So you got to click on the event though.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do that later.
I'm a huge underdog in all my fights. Everyone's voting against me.
Man, yeah, no, that's crazy. But that can be good, It's hey man, I got nothing to lose. So.
Well, I mean, I don't care what some website has to fucking say either.
Right, so. Yeah. They don't know me.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Then we have Brady Minner versus Ben Goodwin.
This is going to be a scrap.
Yeah.
So Brady needs to work on using his long limbs and keeping Ben away from him. Because Ben will get a takedown. Ben's going to get at least one takedown in this fight. So Brady needs to work on getting up or jiu-jitsu off his back for sweeping or standing up or creating space and working his way back up. But Ben, the thing with Ben though, he's a wrestler. He's going to take you down. Excuse me. But he's not a ground and pound artist either. And I would love to see him throw combos standing up. But he's kind of a single strike till he feels comfortable shooting. He's going to take you down for sure. But when he gets you down, it's more of a controlled, you're not going anywhere. You're going to
be pinned.
Yeah, you're going to sit here and I'm going to lay on top of you and I'm going to hit you. But not with super hard shots, just enough to keep going or not get stood up. Brady needs to work on submissions off his back for sure, takedown defense, and then just creating space with his jiu-jitsu and his long limbs.
Part of his takedown defense might actually still be that no-arm guillotine that we just watched Jeff Sauter do.
Yeah.
To Ben Goodwin. But I feel like Ben will probably pick up on that, between now and then. But hey, definitely Brady will for sure keep that in the back pocket.
Well, you got to remember he's a minner too. They pull those guillotines out,
out of
their back pockets all the time. All three of them.
Yeah, is there a possible guillotine? Yes, I will take it.
Yeah.
No, that's how I'm gonna try and be.
I mean, honestly, the best person that can coach Brady right now is his brother Derek.
Yeah.
I mean, Derek's a stud wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Derek's LFA vet, Contender Series, whatever that one out in New
Dana
York
White called
was.
for. Oh, PFL.
Yeah,
PFL. Yeah.
all that stuff. I mean, he's been in the big show.
Yeah.
He's been everywhere but the big show. And honestly, me personally, I think he should be there, but he just has some hiccups. But I mean, honestly, Derek is the best person to coach Brady against this good wrestler, but Ben Goodwin's MMA wrestling. He makes some bad decisions, just like keeping his head out on the outside in that last fight, like we watched. And
Yeah.
then he shot in and stayed on his knees.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't drive, you can't pick up from there, you can't finish really a takedown from your knees. So I mean, Derek's the best person that can help Brady in this fight right now.
Yeah, nobody guillotine me, but I take a takedown, or I most of the time do a double leg from my head outside too. But the thing is, I'm gonna actually try and take them down, and then land on like the inside control, and then maybe possibly go for Von Flute, or just stay there and rest, get a couple breaths, and wait to get my energy back, and then explode out.
Yeah, but do you keep your head on the outside when you're up against the cage though?
You're right.
And would you stay on your knees when you're up against the cage?
No. Well, you're right. You're right. If I did have my head on the outside, I would probably eat a couple knees, like possibly even to the head, but like mostly to, like the chest or like abdomen or whatever.
Well, that shit don't feel good either.
No, yeah, and that might have been one of the things that ran his gas tank out a little bit. On top of just getting squeezed by somebody who's been in the NFL, which doesn't sound like a good time.
Or just anybody. No, I don't.
Or
want
anybody.
I don't want anyone squeezing on
Or
my neck.
anybody.
Yeah. But I mean, he comes out of Sioux Falls too, I believe, right? South Dakota kid, Ben Goodwin.
Oh yeah. I think he just went up there for wrestling though, because he's from Pius X. Like his Nick Goodwin, a good friend of mine. They live here and they're from Lincoln. Yeah, his brother has a sweet podcast too.
I thought his corner was the Sioux Falls crew, the one who
it probably is
that girl who won Spider Monkey Girl.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure that is his crew, but like at least like his brother and his family, I believe, are from here in Lincoln.
Okay.
He went up there. I think he probably wrestled at not Dak West. What is it? It might just be Sioux Falls.
Okay.
Yeah, Sioux Falls D2 school up there. I'm not positive on that. I should have looked into it, but yeah, I'm sure they're training him up there.
Yeah. So I mean, if he didn't pick up on it, which I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
They definitely did.
Oh yeah.
I know that school up there. I see them around all the time. They always have fighters coming down here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know their names, but I see the bald guy with the beard all the time. I mean, coming down here cornering.
Oh yeah, even like last weekend. Yeah, we saw them a bunch of times.
Yeah, I mean they're bringing dudes down here. Keith's from there, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Keith fought him. So yeah, I mean they're around here all the time, and they're no slouches. They know what they're doing up there. So I'm sure Ben caught on to it, what happened, and they definitely did. So they will fix it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. All right, we got Lloyd Chase II versus Ashton No Chance Caniglia.
I'm so excited for this one.
Me too. I don't think I've ever seen Lloyd Chase fight and an actual fight, pro or amateur. I've seen definitely Ashton be active lately. Nice guy, but Lloyd Chase is also a nice guy as far as I know from social media.
Yeah, Lloyd Chase was fighting for amateur titles when I was first starting. I think it was my second fight. Chase, I call him Boo all the time because that's his nickname.
Yeah.
Lloyd Boo Chase. But yeah, so Boo was fighting for 135 amateur title. Like I think it was my second fight against Tony Ortega. I mean, the dude carries some power. I've seen him drop dudes. And then I was a previous opponent of Ashton's. I think that was my third amateur fight. And So I know Ashton pretty well. I see him all the time. Every time we're at fights and stuff, I tell him we'd shake hands. And
he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he is. And Boo is too. Ashton needs to take this to the ground though, for sure. He does not want any part of Boo's power. That's for sure.
So you would say that Lloyd Chase is more of a striker? Or at least that's what he's good at during fights?
That's what he used to be good at. He hasn't fought in a long time. And I know that he has Derek Minner as a coach now, so I'm sure Minner's teaching him all sorts of shit. I mean, if I remember right, Boo was independently training for most of his amateur career.
Yeah, well, we're about to find out.
Yeah, bring this up.
Yeah.
Hopefully he has his amateur record on there too.
Yeah, 1-1 at pro anyway. Okay. So, fighting since 2012, or at least that's what's been reported.
Yeah. Who knows how many unsanctioned ones
there
was and all that.
Yeah. No, it seems to be a bunch. Oh,
they're
Tony Ortega.
Tony Ortega, that was my second fight, I believe.
Dang, what, 258 or 2 minutes 58 seconds into the first round. So you must have tapped it in the last 2 seconds?
It's an amateur title fight, so I believe those are 4 minutes.
Okay.
But
that makes sense.
This was after him smacking the shit out of Tony.
Yeah.
Tony was on wobbly legs. They go to the ground, and Tony pulls off an armbar. I mean, it was a fun fight. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, thank baby Jesus for jiu-jitsu. No
yeah, for sure. That's how I win most of my fights.
yeah, no kidding. Yeah. And
when was his last fight? Was
showing 2015.
Yeah.
Oh my Lanta.
Almost 5 years. Well, 4.5.
Yeah.
I mean, he's I'm glad he's with the gym. I know he's from the Nebraska City area, but I guess from what I heard, I don't know if it's true, but I always heard he was independent.
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of a stud wrestler growing up a little bit. I don't know how far he went with it, but I know he packed some fucking power.
Yeah, no, definitely good for him. And then I think No Chance is going to... I saw him at the Omaha Submission Challenge probably like a month ago or 3 weeks ago. And he won both his matches at white belt in gi and no gi. So that's pretty impressive. As I consider him more of a striker. I don't know. I think he definitely does everything, especially now at the Monstar camp, and they're collecting more people as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope.
On their way up, for sure.
That's gonna be a great fun camp. Shout out to Monstar. Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't call Ashton a striker. I think.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I think he's more wrestling, but can strike if he has to. I look at the Lucas Beardsley fight. And,
yes.
And he wanted no part of Lucas Beardsley on the feet. I mean, the first thing he did was come out and shoot. I think they had 1 or 2 exchanges, and Ashton goes, "Fuck this," and I mean he took him down and practically. I mean, I don't want to say he held him down to win, but because he was ground and pounding too. But I mean he got control and. That was with the takedown and won. Mm-hmm. That's how he won the amateur title.
Yeah, and I think Lucas Beardsley actually is fighting here in Syracuse. We just don't have the full card in front of us. And, I even got knocked out, like, the fight right before him and No Chance. And I remember No Chance was trying to take him down, and then Lucas was like, hup, 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 hup. And just punching him in the head like that, like doing nothing, and then getting taken down. That won't happen again with Lucas, but... that does show you that No Chance's takedowns are good because, he can take you down while you're punching him in the face. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. Ashton's not a joke. I mean,
no.
He's been fighting forever, too.
Mm-hmm.
And he took the fight against me, I think, on a week's notice. And he was a 35er, and I was a 45er, so he was just not cutting weight. And I mean, that's just showing how much of a warrior he is, stepping up on
he's game.
A week's notice. I mean, yeah. But I would consider him more of a wrestler, and he's gonna want to take Boo down. You're not gonna. I don't. That being said, if it's the old Boo who shows up, he hasn't fought in 4.5 years.
You never know.
And he wasn't with Minner back then either. So Derek might be teaching him all sorts of shit. Who knows? But if he still carries the same power he carried back then, you're not gonna want to stand.
No kidding. Then we have Niall Bartling, 2-0 as a pro, at least. And then we have Matt Foster, 10-13 as a pro, and also a Bellator vet. Do you have anything to say about that one?
Niall's wrestling alone is going to carry him to, like, a Contender Series or a Bellator fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's how good Niall's wrestling is. The one thing I will say about Niall, though, he don't like getting punched in the face. And I've seen him take some not so good shots, like to shoot in, that weren't like set up or stuff. Like this isn't wrestling. You got to worry about catching knees and stuff. But his wrestling is that good to where it'll carry him. But Niall don't like getting punched in the face. So I want to see Niall fight someone with really good striking and takedown defense. Because I don't think we've seen that yet.
Yeah.
And
do you care if I pause this real quick? I had to pee so bad.
Yeah, I do too, dude.
Okay, so yeah, we got into a little bit of the Niall Bartling versus Matt Foster, and we're saying, like, we would like to see somebody really kind of put it on Niall a little bit and have good takedown defense. The guy he fought last, Niall anyway, had decent takedown defense. He ended up getting taken down a couple times, but that was actually like a decent fight. This guy Matt Foster, 10-13 Bellator veteran as a pro. That's a lot of fights.
Do you know how many fights in Bellator he had? Because making it to Bellator is a huge accomplishment right there.
Yes.
But if it's one fight in Bellator, that's a little different. But I recognize the guy's name, but I'm not putting 2 and 2 together right now.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Also as a middleweight.
Is Niles going down? No, he's probably
No.
going up. Niles, big boy.
Yeah.
Ring of Combat's not a bad. That's pretty notable.
Yeah.
So Williams.
I wonder where's
Bellator.
Okay, Bellator was in 2016. Lots for a naked choke. Yeah.
Oh, was there another one? Two.
I believe it was just the one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's fought in Titan.
Oh yeah.
Titan
yeah.
FC. That's a big.
That's legit.
Yeah.
But
Bellator. The guy's obviously been around.
Coming off of 2 KO TKO losses, so maybe that'll be a good one for now to really, show off his striking a little bit.
He shows off his striking a little bit in every fight. You can obviously tell he's still growing and learning. And who am I to say I'm still an amateur and he's 2-0 as a pro? But I'm just alone. Niles wrestling is going to carry him very far. What, UNL wrestler?
Yeah.
Stud wrestler.
Oh yeah.
That's some high level wrestling.
Yeah.
That's gonna take him very far. In my personal opinion, I think he needs to be comfortable getting his face touched a little bit, because he kind of pulls the whole. Not every punch, but there's some times where it's like this, and then it's swooping for the takedown right away. A lot of those guys are going to pick up on that. You might catch a knee or something like that, but Niles a monster. He's going to go somewhere for sure. He has a bright future ahead of him for sure. Looks like this Matt. How old is this Matt guy? Matt Foster.
Tapology says 35.
So, might be on his downfall. I mean, 10-13 might be on his way down. So,
Decline.
I mean, the guy's been around a long time, so this is good name to have on your resume for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I already know he could probably get a contender fight. Niall could.
Yeah.
And probably do well.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, fight with the best of them. But, like, to be a world champion, I think he needs to work on that stand-up, which is understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Being a wrestler your whole life, you know. But a lot of those wrestlers, especially those high-level ones, they gain knockout power because they know how to explode, use their hips, and all that. So Niall could very well transition into being this awesome wrestler into an awesome wrestler with KO power, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, and also, like, I'm raking my brain real quick, but I don't see anywhere where Niall's been, like, people have been, like, trying guillotines and stuff on him, or, you know, where he's had to use a bunch of submission defense. I could definitely be wrong. But,
well, some dude bit his nipple off, or about bit his nipple off. You remember that? I think that was his first fight.
Oh, wow.
I think he mounted the guy, and his defense was to bite Niall in the
Mike
boob,
Tyson
dude.
style.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, that's the last act of a desperate man right there. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the only thing worse than that is just straight punching him in the dick. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, Niall's, and again, another good coach in Derek Minner, especially for having that wrestling base. I swear, Minner has probably some of the best MMA wrestling, definitely around here, but for a wide area. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of people out wrestling Minner in an MMA match.
No, and that'll rub off onto, well, that has rubbed off onto Brady.
Yeah.
And then Niall will bring in whatever he knows.
Yeah.
And, you know, it'll be a big melting pot over there in Neb City.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, Boo's over there. He was a pretty decorated wrestler as well. Brett, I don't know all these guys' wrestling credentials. I'm pretty sure Niles is probably the highest one. Highest level of competition.
Yeah.
But
maybe even in Nebraska right now.
Yeah, very well be. But I know when it comes to MMA wrestling, Minner has a very high IQ of that. So if you're a wrestler-based MMA fighter, Minner is probably one of your best coaches, especially around here.
Definitely. I agree with that. And we'll leave you with one more. Who do you have this weekend? Wilder versus Fury.
Oh, man. I don't know how to judge boxing, but...
Do you think it's going to be up to the judges?
Well, see, I also... So, me and Jose Campos, and he always brings his boxers down to Scotty's house and stuff, and I talk to them, and I've trained with them a couple times and stuff. But I thought Fury outboxed Wilder that whole fight. I know he got dropped a couple times, especially in that last round where I thought he died. I mean, I thought that was the end of the fight. But...
Well, he might even won that round, too. Like, it's a fact that he won, you know, almost the whole fight.
Yeah,
besides those knockdowns.
I thought so, too. And then I talked to all these boxers, and they're like, oh, fucking blah, 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 fucking this is why. And I was just like, I don't know. The guy who got punched more was definitely Wilder.
Yeah.
Like, Wilder definitely had the harder shots. I don't know how that plays into boxing and stuff, but...
Yeah, what is a knockdown scored versus what
getting
6 rounds of winning?
Time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how the last fight was a draw. I thought Fury won that. Other than that being knocked into deadness.
Yeah.
I mean, he got dropped hard in that last fight, or in the last round. And then got up and started outboxing him again.
Right.
Like, without your bearings on you. So, I want to say, if it goes the distance, definitely Fury is what I would think. But if it gets stopped anywhere before then, Wilder's knocking him out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I'd say, if Wilder doesn't knock him out, it's probably going to be a Fury decision.
I would think so, but I thought that last time too, and it was a draw. So
Right.
so there's that. So
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah,
We'll
boxing's
find out
pretty
Saturday.
dirty, as is MMA.
yeah,
So
we'll find out Saturday.
yeah,
I mean, you gonna watch?
probably not. I think that I'll be at the Syracuse card.
Oh right, yep.
Yeah, I think I'll be over there. If not, I'll definitely be watching Wilder Fury,
Yeah.
as well as whatever UFC card they have going on. I think I can't even
Is
think
there
of who
someone?
it is. Yeah, it is. It's another somewhat small card. I forget. But yeah, all right. Well, you have anything else to add?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, definitely thanks a lot for coming
Sure.
out with us.
Thanks
And
for having me.
yeah, no, we'll have to do it again soon. Break
Yeah,
down some
well,
more stuff.
Whenever you want.
Yeah. Shouts out to Twin J. Shouts out to Minter Gray. And everybody doing good things. All right.
Combat Center.
Premier Combat Center. Yeah, that too. And Lincoln Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I was just thinking of like the weekend that's coming up. But yeah, shout out to Premier, Lincoln Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Minter Gray, Team Soldier, whoever is in the house. Let's
Yeah.
go. All right, thanks a lot.